All right, wonderful. We're joined by Sarah Poole, Deputy Assistant Administrator. Is that the right?
That's right, and Deputy Director for the Bureau for Policy and Program Support. It's a long bit.
Deputy Director for the Bureau of Policy and Program Support. Thank you so much for joining us at the live stage. I want to talk about first just your impressions. We're here at the Global Festival of Ideas. You've been very busy. Fantastic speech earlier on today, by the way. Congratulations on that. What are your impressions so far?
First, an amazing amount of energy. SDGs, I think, always get people in passion, but what I think is unique about this is the diversity of people participating in this and the different ideas that they have. I also thought it was very important and exciting in a way when one of the panelists in the plenary asked everyone under the age of 40 to stand up. And I would say, unfortunately, I was not part of that group. I was one of the people still sitting, but I think it was about 2/3 of the crowd stood up. And I think that's a very important reflection how the younger generations are so engaged on this issue, but also that what they bring is a fresh perspective on it. And I think what we see then with the innovation and how much the gamification and new ways of thinking about business and development and how to really challenge some of the assumptions and work together for solutions, I think is incredibly exciting.
Wonderful. You talked about the new energy that the SDG brings. Let's talk about implementation of the SDGs at the country level and the role that UNDP plays in that. Paint for us a picture. What are the opportunities right now? And what are maybe challenges and opportunities that you see vis-a-vis the implementation of the SDGs at the country level?
I'll start with the challenges and then I'll move to the opportunities. So I think on the challenges, what we're seeing is, first, the SDGs are very ambitious. They really are. It's the SDGs, while the MDGs were amazing, they did very important work and achieved very important results on the ground. The SDGs take it to the next level. It's a very ambitious agenda. It has a lot of targets and goals. It's incredibly integrated, and to understand how to work across the goals. And this just isn't just a question for the government or for the UN, the international development partners or local authorities. This is for all of us to understand how to do work differently towards achieving these goals. So I think one is the ambitious nature of it. I think which requires a different approach. I think the second is that the challenges that all countries are facing right now are tough challenges. I mean, we have the impact of climate. We have Goal 5, which I think is a challenge for a lot of the countries. We have the whole issue of exclusion, inequality, in some cases lack of confidence in institutions. We know that we have conflict, some of that more political or crisis-driven, in other cases more driven by lack of access to resources. It's a whole gamut of challenges. I could go on and on. But so how do you really engage in, also in some countries with limited resources, how do you help bring this agenda in a way that can tackle perhaps the root causes, but also address the solutions that can bring this forward? So I think those are some of the challenges. I think where we see the opportunity is first the commitment. This really has been adopted by 193 world leaders, and that in itself is saying something. But it's not just the commitment of the world leaders, it's also the commitment of the global population. And I think we're seeing it here today. For example, the engagement of civil society, the engagement of the private sector also is an important partner on this, the engagement of the international community. First, to come together around the common agenda, but then also really think, what does this mean, and put into action, what does this mean to do this line of work differently, and to come up with solutions that are going to work at the local level and at the national level. I think where the opportunity is also this recognition that for the SDGs to work, they need to be localized. It needs to be the communities that are engaged. It needs to be the communities that are working on understanding what it means to leave no one behind in their community. Who are those people and how we can address it? And then I know I've been speaking long, but the last point I would raise, both on the challenge and the opportunity, is the issue of data. a lot of the countries don't have the data that's needed to really address the progress that needs to be made or to understand who's being left behind. But I think the SDGs and the Agenda 2030 points to that issue. And there's been a lot of work, both formal work on data, but also citizen-driven work on data that may bring us across that hurdle of really having the data we need to make better policy choices, better budgeting choices, and to really understand how to achieve this.
Thank you very much. I think that's a pretty comprehensive picture you paint there of both the challenges and the opportunities. And one of the things you mentioned is the need for localized ownership of this drive. Now, what's UNDP's role specifically at the country level